sing our Christmas carol for the day, Good Christian Friends, Rejoice.
Favorite Christmas memory. Y'all, mine, I've got a lot of good ones. I hope you do too. I think mine is the first, oh gosh, this is so cheesy. It was the first Christmas where I was a pastor, which was not that long ago. It was at a really, really wonderful, lovely church um, up in Ohio. And I started there out of seminary. So I started in the summers. I've been with them about 6 months. And I'm already just a huge sap for Christmas. And I did something a little bold. We'd always had one service at, like, I think around like 7. And I thought it was a great idea. I don't know if I'd recommend this to someone new into ministry. But I had the idea of let's do 2 services, one at 5 for the kids. That essentially is a lot like Evergreen's impromptu pageant. Essentially, it was that, just didn't have that name. We called it the family service. So it didn't have a lot of the elements of a more traditional Christmas Eve service, but it had essentially the telling of the Christmas story. And any of the kids that were there, we threw them into a costume and put them into the parts. And that was just a lot of fun. It was very much focused on the kids having a great time and a lot of the, your traditional Christmas tunes. And it was really beautiful. That was at 5 p.m. And then I really wanted to do a candlelight, midnight. I guess it started at 11. We had special music starting at 10:30. We had a ton of wonderful musicians in that church. So special music at 10:30 p.m. and then 11 p.m. the service would start. And that church, they were so gracious and loving. They were like, I think deep down they were like, we don't want to stay up that late, but they did, and we had a huge turnout. It was lovely. It was wonderful for both services, the 5 p.m. with the children. And then the evening one, which looking back, I'm shocked that they didn't just kick me out immediately. And there was something really magical. Um, Getting to be, it was kind of a both and situation, getting to be the pastor and the leader of that community while also recognizing that I was joining into a long line of Christmas Eve traditions that were 1,000 times bigger than me, that it had been going on for decades in this historic congregation, and to go through that flow and to be a part of these rich traditions where so many memories were in that sacred sanctuary and part of that routine, and at the very end, singing Silent Night and everyone having the little candle lit and the lights being dimmed So at the very end of Silent Night, all you have are the Christmas lights and the candles and then any street light coming in from outside. And I go up to do my benediction. I look at my watch, and it's a little past midnight. I think it was like 12:02. So it's December 25th. It is Christmas. And I'll never forget that memory of looking at my watch and just saying to them, Merry Christmas. And realizing that that was, the first time as a pastor of that congregation. These folks I've only known for 6 months. I got to say that to them in that beautiful traditional moment that we got to share together. It was something really magical to me. So out of a lot of really great Christmas memories, I think that's the one for me. So, Merry Christmas.
What's to say that a little green army man practicing yoga doesn't belong in a nativity set? One of my favorite Christmas memories actually involves this nativity set that I grew up with. Because you see, from a very young age, I actually had a tradition of putting things that didn't quite belong into the nativity. Namely, I don't have it anymore, but it was a plastic figurine of Santa's sled and his 8 reindeer. And every year, multiple times, I would put that sled on top of the manger roof. And every year my mother would scold me for it. And every year she would take it down. And every year I would put it right back where I thought it should go. Because you see, I realized, I think, from a pretty young age, that Christmas didn't have to be just one thing. It could be whatever I wanted it to be. So Merry Christmas from this house and this strange nativity set to yours, and I hope that you've enjoyed this season of tidings of comfort and joy.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hey Evergreen, it's Mr. Corey here, and I'm here to share one of my, or maybe two of my favorite Christmas memories. I have a lot of favorite Christmas memories, man. My mom and dad did an amazing job of hiding gifts and always keeping me on my P's and Q's of what I was gonna get. I always made a Christmas list and gave it to my mom, especially my dad. I remember there were times where I would even put it in my dad's mailbox when I would go over to his house, and he would be like, I wonder where this letter came from because it doesn't have a stamp on it. And then I'd be like, dang, I didn't put a stamp on it or whatever. So I've had a lot of fun Christmas memories, man. I was a very spoiled child, in a good way, but one of my favorite Christmas memories on both sides, I'm gonna give one for my dad and for my mom. My dad one time, he acted like I didn't get anything for Christmas, and it was actually Christmas Eve. And he told me I could only get you one thing or whatever, and it's outside. And so we walked outside on the back patio, and he pulled off this blue tarp, and there was a yellow Suzuki 4-wheeler with a red ribbon on the front of it. It was, oh my God, I remember it. And I jumped in his arms. Oh my God, I was so happy. It was dark, so I couldn't ride. Actually, no, I did ride it because it had lights on it. So I did ride it. And he eventually let me take it to my house with my mom. And so my mom did an amazing job of always just waiting until I fell asleep. And I was a soldier. I was not falling asleep on Christmas Eve. I was staying up. And we're back. There was one Christmas that my mom actually, she was like, I can't really get you anything this Christmas, Corey. I don't really have it. And I understood, even though deep inside I was still sad because I felt like that I was not gonna get anything for Christmas from my mom or whatever. So deep down, inside I was sad, and I was also sad because I felt like my mom, I felt bad because she said she didn't have it, and she wasn't gonna be able to, do anything for Christmas, but she ended up getting me, oh my gosh, so much stuff for Christmas. It was so amazing. When I woke up that morning, I had so many different gifts that I didn't even ask for. I remember one of my favorite gifts from that year was a pair of Timberland boots. And she had actually, I don't know if I asked for the boots, but like I had been looking at those boots like every time we went to like Payless. This was when like Payless was really in style. But I would always look at the boots. I would talk about the boots. The boots were just what I really wanted. And she actually got me those boots, and that might have been the most important thing about that Christmas, outside of the fact that I woke up and it was so many things up under that Christmas tree. But those are my favorite Christmas memories, guys. I love you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. I will see you guys soon, and you guys be safe.
Merry Christmas, Evergreen. My name is Beatrix Weil. I'm the Parish Associate of Evergreen Presbyterian Church and the Chaplain of Rhodes College. And I'd love to share a favorite Christmas memory with you. So I grew up on Long Island in New York, and very close family, my nuclear family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and then my grandparents lived down the street, and then my aunt and uncle lived about 5 minutes away. So we spent Christmas together every year. And then within the past few years, we now live in Ohio, Tennessee, Florida, and New York. So I believe it was 2019, we spent Christmas in Florida, and my sister was expecting a baby, and so we knew we had to start, kind of downsizing Christmas so that the focus could be on the baby in the future. So instead of doing 1,000 gifts per person, which we usually did, we played a game called Super Secret Santa Sweep, which was loosely based on Secret Santa and Supermarket Sweep, if you remember that game show. So we paired up into teams of 2, and we had a spending limit, and each team of 2 was assigned another pair of 2, and then we were let loose in a Walmart, and you had, I think, 30 minutes to find gifts for your 2 people within the price limit, and that was all you were allowed. And we wore matching sweaters to do this, and we were each assigned some headgear, like antlers, a Santa hat, elf ears, that kind of thing. So we really looked the part, running around through this Walmart, finding our gifts, and it was just a hoot. We're kind of crashing carts into each other, and of course, grandma who is the head matriarch of the family, she and her team finished first, and they were already waiting with Dunkin' Donuts at the exit to the Walmart by the time any of us were even online. So she won. Because of course it was a competition, and grandma and dad, they won. And it was joyful for so many reasons, because it's goofy and we're super hammy, and we like wearing matching clothing in public. This isn't the first time we've done that. But I think really what I loved about it was that my family was able to do something different, to change a tradition, to meet the goal of wanting to like downsize the gift giving to each other, so that we knew we could focus on like kind of the next generation of our family next year, which we did, and respond to the fact that we don't all live in New York anymore, and still find ways to connect and nourish joy in our lives surrounding Christmas, even though it wasn't how it looked, for the previous 30 Christmases. That was pretty inspiring and maybe even miraculous to me. So that's a treasured Christmas memory. And I will add an evergreen one of, I think, Jim and I dancing the salsa while we were decorating the tree at Evergreen. That is also a treasured Christmas memory for me. Just embodying the joy that is the season. Okay, thanks. Merry Christmas.
Hi, Merry Christmas. One of my favorite Christmas memories actually happened when I was in second grade. So before we got out for Christmas break, we made something called reindeer food, which I'm pretty sure was just oatmeal and glitter, because Santa's reindeer can eat glitter. However, if you see any like regular reindeer, like don't try to feed them glitter. Um, but anyway, that year for Christmas Eve, I scattered the reindeer food all over the yard. Even though I was very sick, I had a really bad case of asthma and also a cold, so they didn't want me out too long. But I got to scatter my reindeer food, and then it was straight to bed with me. However, a couple hours later, as I was sitting in bed, kind of, watching TV, I wasn't really asleep, just chilling in my Vicks Vapor Rub that was slathered on me from head to toe. I I thought I heard something on the roof, and then I heard a familiar voice come from in the living room, entering into the house. And so, um, like my mom and my grandma and grandpa like kind of like crowded the doorway, but I found a little space to peek, and I saw Santa, and he was wearing Reeboks, and he was putting presents under the tree. And after he left, because they wouldn't let me look at him directly, I could only peek. After he left, I saw that the milk and cookies that I left for him were gone. And so that was one of my best and most magical Christmas memories. So I hope that you had just as magical of a Christmas as that Christmas was for me so many years ago. Love you. Mwah.
Go. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!